Hello and welcome back to our live coverage of the 2018 Resolute Cup here at New York Yacht Club Harbor Court in Newport, Rhode Island. Once again, I'm Tucker Thompson with Andy Green, and here's the situation. 28 yacht clubs represented from around the United States and Puerto Rico. Only the top 14 will move on into this afternoon's medal round. We had one race, Andy, this morning. We've been under a couple-hour delay. The sea breeze has filled in, but we've run out of time to finish the qualifying. So that means this morning's race will be thrown out. Essentially, they won't use it. And we'll move into the medal round, Andy. We have our top 14.
Yeah, we do. So at the top of the standings with 33 points, Austin Yacht Club from the capital of the Lone Star State, Texas. Second, it's the San Francisco Yacht Club, then Eastern Yacht Club, then San Diego, Storm Trisel, New York Yacht Club, Coral Reef Yacht Club, Chicago, Larchmont, Corinthian, St. Francis, Shelter Island, Club Nautico de San Juan in their first Resolute Cup, squeak in 13th. And in 14th, it's the Bayview Yacht Club, 1:45 to go. Now, double points, Tucker.
Right. Up to 3 races will be scheduled in this medal round. And Andy, the pressure is up. So is the breeze. Some of the best breeze we've seen, certainly today.
Oh, it's nice. It's from the south now, and that in Newport is all good news. We've got 3 races, double points for the podium of the 2018 Resolute Cup. Couple of sponsors, Tucker?
Yep, of course. We'd like to thank our sponsors of the Resolute Cup. We've got AIG Private Client Group, the exclusive insurance partner, and Helly Hansen, our exclusive apparel partner. And Andy, as you mentioned, only one of these yacht club teams will be the champion. They will earn their club the right to race in next year's Rolex New York Yacht Club Invitational Cup IC37. It's a minute to go.
On board now. Just listening to a bit of pre-race tactics. Here they go. Boats setting up for the starting line. We've got basically a slack tide. Just starting to come in now. So they'll be beating into the tide. They'll be running with the tide. 40 seconds to go.
Board here with Storm Trisel Club. 30 seconds.
24, 23, 22, 21.
Listen in.
Stop it! Stop it! You're not down. You're not down to close off.
Just getting themselves ready for that final acceleration off the line. The crucial thing, going as fast as possible, as close to the line as possible. Don't be over. 7 seconds to go. Here's the final approach. Bows are down, pace is on. Oh, very tight at the pin. I think that may be over at the pin.
Could be. The gun is off. The fleet on their way upwind. Fantastic conditions here in Newport for the finals. And do we have an X flag up? Yes. Some boats are going back.
That pin boat looked real close to me. Storm Trisel over the line.
Not a good way to start the first race in the middle round.
Recross the line and now starting correctly. That was all at the committee boat end.
Yeah, not that one boat at the pin end did a fantastic job checking to see who that was. Shelter Island Yacht Club won the pin. Now, tactics, Andy, or strategy, looking upwind in the southerly. As we head to the top mark, which side do you like?
I'm fine with the pin here. Tide starting to just come in a little bit. It'll be a little bit stronger on the Goat Island shore in the first half hour because tide changes first at the edges. So I'd go towards Goat Island, then I'd tack back into the middle, and you're looking for less inbound tide. Let's listen in.
On board with San Diego.
They were higher, a little slower on Augie.
Most all boats still on starboard. It's a speed race, a drag race now, towards the left-hand side. No one is tacked except those that were over early and had to clear out.
Middle of the line looking lifted but slightly light. If that lift increases, if they get a bit more breeze towards us, here, bottom of screen, you'll see them gain. If the breeze fills in as the boats on the left are showing, then the boats on the left will be good. off towards Gurney's Resort there in the background. Thanks to all our fans on Facebook watching the 2008 Resolute Cup. We are going live on Facebook. We've also been posted on Helly Henson. Austin Yacht Club on board.
Current regatta leader. That was Scott Young at the helm. Austin Yacht Club having led the qualifiers in first place, and Andy, as you know, the points now will carry over into this medal round.
So you're allowed to keep one dropout from the 12 races. And then these 3 double points races, non-discardable. Lovely pictures. We're on the right-hand side of the racecourse now, as the boat's all starting to tack onto port. That would give me the idea that the left is paying, Tucker.
You called it, Andy.
Doesn't look like it from that, though. Looks like the right's good there. Well, who's to know? Maybe it's even.
It's tough to tell at this angle without the windward mark in the frame, but we can switch to the tracker to give you an overhead idea of, there we go. So angle-wise, pretty even, halfway up the beat. And that lead line is, who's that, Andy?
Shelter Island on the left-hand side. Yeah, that left just winning out, but it's very tight. Chicago Yacht Club, Austin, both in bad shape.
Just as we saw in the lighter breeze this morning, a couple boats obviously have a speed advantage. There's 3 boats punched on the rest of the fleet. And that's Shelter Island San Diego and Coral Reef. Club Nautico de San Juan amongst the front runners as well. As you mentioned, their first time that a Puerto Rican yacht club has sailed in the Resolute Cup. Double points.
Storm tries attacking from the left-hand side.
Eric Stork.
Let's listen in.
Hopefully we're low.
I like what these boats on the left have done, Andy. Shelter Island Yacht Club.
Just stepped out a bit, haven't
Yeah, poked. That's them in the far left of your screen. Just punched on the rest of the fleet. They tacked back a little bit earlier than some of these other boats to the far left. And now wound up in a good shift.
they? Shelter Island, the little club that could, leading. Also up at the top, Coral Reef Yacht Club, Club Nautico San Juan, and San Diego Yacht Club. Also Austin getting a little bit back into it here as well.
On board again with Storm Trisel. And now we switch over to San Diego Yacht Club. Tyler Sinks at the helm. Best conditions of the week.
Yeah, this is beautiful. Clear, windy.
Shelter Island punched in the middle, on port, leading the group to the top mark here in Narragansett Bay, race number 1 of the medal round, Resolute Cup.
Cross right now, but decided not to take it tactically. Let us know on Facebook which teams you're supporting, where you're watching from on this lovely Saturday here in Newport, Rhode Island. We've got 8 or 9 knot, building sea breeze from the southwest, clear skies, a little bit of cloud around, but an inbound tide, so that's coming towards us as we go upwind. A little bit more tide to the right,
Shelter Island just on fire in this race. Leading the charge. Great overhead shot of Narragansett Bay here. Claiborne Pell Bridge, the Newport Bridge in the background. There's Rose Island. There's Goat Island inshore. And there's Shelter Island Yacht Club. Heading for the top mark on starboard ley line now. Just in the middle of the screen.
Yeah, they got it all roped up right here. Not going to quite lay the windward mark with the inbound tide. Maybe they will. They'll squeeze it. Yeah.
I think they'll do it with a little shoot.
Great.
Here we're looking at the boats approaching from the left. It's going to be crowded, Andy. Top mark.
Oh yeah, if you're coming in from the left, you are on port, so you do not have right. Oh, look at that, spins on boat number 12.
Penalty turn for San Francisco Yacht Club as Shelter Island leads. Number 10, Mark 1, here in the medal round. So far out in front, Andy, I don't think the wind shadows are going to be much of an effect for them. Early hoist. It's either a low offset or a right-hand shift. What do you think?
Look, Shelter Island got the bit between their teeth. Well done. They're going to have to get a few. They're going to have to win all 3 races, I reckon, to get back into this, because they've got 73 points right now. But double points, there's a lot can go bad if you end up at the bottom. So.
A little too deep. No, rolling into a jibe. Okay.
Jibe, yeah.
So it is a right-hand shift. Early sets at the top mark. Early jibe at the offset.
Look at the windward end. Look at the windward end of the top mark. Super busy. San Diego right now. Listening.
We got a lot of marks there. We're kind of hard to all.
Lots of jibes at the top mark in this right-hand shift. And Andy, you can see breeze on their bow offshore. Another reason to jibe into it as the fleet heads downwind, led by Shelter Island.
My apologies, I may have given you the impression that the tide was coming in, and in fact, since one, it's actually been going out. So we're in the first hour of the ebb tide, so it's going with the boats upwind, against them downwind, but still light at the moment. Look at that, 20, 15, 5, and 12. So that's Austin.
12 having spun
New
that penalty
York.
turn.
Yeah, San Francisco having done a turn, and one boat. Oh, look like they've caught a lobster pot right there. Still going upwind, not looking good.
Now this is interesting,
Yeah.
Andy. You've got Shelter Island in the background. They've actually jibed back there. And then who's this red spinnaker
Yeah,
in the foreground on starboard?
San Diego. I think Shelter Island may have given a bit of their lead away here.
There's Shelter Island far in the distance to the right there. I'm just curious what side's going to pay off here downwind. Clearly there's a solid difference split between the fleet. Half of them going down on starboard here to the left as we look upwind. The other half have jibed.
I like what San Diego are doing here. I think it's light in the middle. Let's go and listen in.
What's that?
You're doing a great job with your lane. Maybe
You can go down another one.
I'd keep it
One
straight,
is
take it
face
forward.
Line's just going through right
Okay,
there.
19's driving.
Okay, we're staying.
Changing tide.
Two, one, little build here. Plenty of lane to work with. We're clear on the jive if we choose.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Now switching over to
Yeah.
Austin Yacht Club on board.
Unfamiliar spot for them at the back.
I think he's driving.
That was Scott Young at the helm. Now we're on board Eric Stork and Storm Tristle Club. There's Brad Dellenbaugh standing up holding the boom, calling the shots.
I mean, I'm still seeing some coming just on his windward side, but not wide. I think I'd be happier driving. Drive. You need down.
No, I don't think that.
Ready?
Here comes the jibe.
Nice job.
Nice little
Shelter Island still out in front. Has San Diego taken a bit of their lead away as we are halfway down the run to the leeward mark. I believe that's San Diego having just jibed onto port there in the foreground. Yep, there's your split. I think the right-hand side as we look upwind has paid off downwind, Andy. I think those that jibed, at least looking at this shot, to my eye, have gained a bit. There's Shelter Island. They've centered up in the race course.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of balancing both sides here. Coral Reef Yacht Club in slightly more tide, the tide going out. San Diego getting out of the tide a little better. Mark Nilsson says, sail fast Austin. Bev Barnard is supporting the Eastern Yacht Club from NYYC Gloucester.
Middle of the course looks light. Soaking we can.
Yeah, 15 was kind of on us.
Oh,
Good line
trying
of
to soak when we can.
I know, but
Okay, you're telling me. I'm steering straight.
yeah, gives us a slightly better lead on 15.
Okay.
Hold there. All the way down.
At least one more jibe. The marks are to the left of the screen. Shelter Island.
Right, bossing it right now, aren't
Yeah.
they? 50-meter lead.
Directly on their stern, a few hundred yards back. It's a good breeze coming down the course. Narragansett Bay saved the best for last. We've had rain, we've had very light and fluky conditions, and now that the sea breeze is here, the clouds are gone. Fantastic conditions. Coral Reef Yacht Club there, far right-hand side in the blue. Spinnaker coming in with speed. I think out of phase, though. It looks to me like the fleet is in a right-hand shift. Those on port pointing closer to the leeward marks. Final jibe for Shelter Island, Andy. Is it ley line for the right mark or the left mark? Which way do you think they want to go upwind?
I think I'd go around the. I think I'd go around the right-hand mark as we look at it. I'd continue on port for about a minute and then I'd tack onto starboard. The right-hand side generally will have better outbound tide. The tide is going out. Remember, all of those of you watching on Facebook Live, welcome to Helly Hansen, who are streaming us on their front page of their Facebook. If you've got any questions, just put them in the comments section. We'll try and answer them as best we can. Shelter Island, choose the left hand of the two marks.
All right. Second place has gained on them a little. San Diego Yacht Club.
Yeah, they have.
Jibing around the leeward mark, chasing Shelter Island upwind, left-hand side. Next question is, how far left will they go, particularly if there's better breeze to the right? Here comes the rest of the fleet. Eastern Yacht Club in third, also following the leaders to the left.
Oh, what a terrible spinnaker drop from Eastern Yacht Club. They dropped way too early. They should have dropped it in the jibe. Now it's busy. Look at that.
Yes, look at that. 5 boats deep into the leeward marks.
Look. That right-hand mark is favoured.
Yeah.
No question about it.
Larchmont, New York.
Maybe.
It's an even split, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
A lot of boats choosing the right, including Austin and Storm Trisol. Into an immediate attack. Actually, Austin has gone left. Correction there. All but one now heading back upwind. The fleet split left and right.
Sheets out. We'll have a good. Nick, do you want to see an 8 or are you okay? Okay, then fuck it. Yeah, I'm totally happy with that call.
C19's got a decent lead out here.
Now we switch over to Austin.
Yeah. You want to go back in here? Okay.
Surprisingly, bad race for Austin. 8th place, mid-fleet. In the middle round.
Right, what are they thinking? Come on, Austin. Bullhorn State, is it? No. I'm just making this stuff up. The Lone Star State.
There you go.
What's its thing?
That is a very vague question, Andy. We're going to get back to you on that.
What's its
The
logo?
the official thing?
What's its logo? Is it like a? What? It is Longhorn, not Bullhorn. Okay, Longhorn. There we go.
Yeah.
Texas Longhorn.
Back on board with Eric Stork. Is it? No. Which boat have we got here, Andy?
That's
Storm
Storm
Tristle,
Tristle.
thanks. Yep, it is Eric. Okay. Currently in 5th upwind.
no. It was San Diego. That's San Diego.
Yeah, this is
You can tell that.
It's the board shorts that gave it away.
And the beards.
Yeah.
The board shorts and the beard says San Diego all day long.
Let's do it then.
Well, let's go on board with New York Yacht Club and we'll see their popped collars and their pastel pants.
If we had a camera on board.
If we had a camera on board. We know they don't have a camera today. So we're with San Diego Yacht Club.
Into attack. That's the first tack of the beat for both San Diego and Shelter Island. Out of frame to the left has tack on top of it.
Great to have Lisa Purcell watching at the Driftwood Doodle Ranch. She's watching with lots of her golden doodles. I think we need a picture of that, don't we?
Sure.
Right? I mean, everyone loves a picture of some golden doodles.
Send us your golden doodles. Upwind. I think there's one more boat to the far left of the screen. There it
Yeah,
is.
right,
Okay.
right.
Shelter Island leading San Diego. Your top two. Eastern Yacht Club, Largemont, and Storm Tristle among the mix. From the left. Left paid off, Andy.
Yeah. Surprised. So it might be that the ebb tide is a little more on Goat Island, and it'll start building in the middle, and then more in the middle after that. Jim McGuinness watching from Toronto, Canada. Hi, Jim.
Now, this is the qualifier for the Invitational Cup. Canada has won that event in years past. Perfect champagne sailing conditions.
Yeah, lovely, isn't it?
Perfect tactics as well. Shelter Island keeping the fleet at bay, having just tacked back onto starboard, top of screen.
Hi to Roy Thompson watching on the Helly Hansen page.
Good time to thank our sponsors again, Andy. The Resolute Cup is sponsored by AIG Private Client Group, exclusive insurance partner, and Helly Hansen, our exclusive apparel partner. And thanks for supporting the Resolute Cup.
Yeah, we got the J80 Dutch sailing team. We've got a bunch of people from Holland watching, and Canada, UK, New Jersey, New York, Texas, California, Rhode Island. Tell us where you're watching from. Great to have you here enjoying a Saturday afternoon of quality sailing. Let's get back down on the water, take a look in.
Shelter Island continuing to keep the fleet at bay. 2 laps of this course, the W4 finished downwind. The medal round worth double points.
We've got a question from Chris Curtis Christensen, watching from Mount Hood. Is SYC competing? I assume they're talking about the Southern Yacht Club, previous winners of the New York Yacht Club Rolex Invitational. No, they're not. They didn't
Well, they
come.
probably don't need to. If you won, you probably get an automatic invite, no?
Yes.
For the Invitational Cup next year?
But to be honest, Tucker, this Resolute Cup really stands on its own now. There is an invitation to the Rolex New York Yacht Club Invitational, but this now with 28 teams is a championship all of its own.
There's a waiting list to get into this top group. So if you want to compete in the 2020 Resolute Cup, better get on top of it now.
Right. You want to get your team together for your yacht club? Well, maybe if they get a lot more entries, we'll expand the fleet, do it over a few more days, get some more boats involved. Tucker.
This is interesting, Andy. The first time we've seen a gate at the top mark. That's one. I'm sorry, that's not a gate. That's an offset. I take that back.
I knew I should have carried on talking in that
Yeah,
bit.
just keep going. Just like that tide, huh?
Yeah, right.
Top mark, Shelter Island has increased their lead upwind. San Diego still behind, and the top two have legged farther forward on the fleet. Left-hand breeze, left-hand angle from that shot. Where are the starboard tackers?
Tied under them, so it's actually pretty easy to do that last minute tack, although quite close to the top mark there.
No one approaching from the right at this point.
The right is not right. It's all bad.
The right is wrong.
The right is wrong.
Majority of the fleet on port, approaching the top mark, chasing Shelter Island, who's on the final run, headed home to the finish. Race one of the medal round of the 2018 Resolute Cup.
I'm not seeing a lot of support for Shelter Island online here, Tucker. Maybe it's the fact that they've got the smallest membership of any of the clubs.
Look at that tide line in the middle of the that last shot there, Andy.
Oh yeah, well worth looking at that. Good drone shots. Shelter Island leading the fleet. Jay Mills, Chris Constant, John King, and Christian Langendahl from Shelter Island Yacht Club, founded in 1886. Let's go on board and listen here at San Diego.
Okay. You tell me how low we can go. Okay.
2, 1, little increase here.
Fucking way faster than him. You want me to heat it up a little bit, Nick? Or if you guys see waves, let me know and I'll bring.
Well, it was a left-hand shift, had everybody on port upwind. It's a left-hand shift that has everybody on starboard, long jibe, downwind, on the final run.
2, 1, bring it down more all the time, dude.
You're doing good things on 10 from my eye.
Yeah, great. Light for like 3 here. Increase 2, 1, small build.
Do you think about it? Right, guys, if he jibes, let's say he jibes early, we drive with him. Is it a 2-horse race?
Decided when
Pretty
they're
much?
going to jibe.
Yeah, 8's probably not much.
Once 8 becomes a
That could be a pretty important call with this shift. At some point, they've got to get onto the unfavored jibe. When do you do it? In pressure, obviously.
And this is also deciding on how they set up for. Oh no, this is to finish. So they're just trying to set up for the finishing line, trying to get the best angle in, but it looks headed. They look pretty much all the way down to this, one jibing in at most.
I was going to say no one, but just one lone boat has jibed onto port, the back of the fleet.
Small build 2, 1.
Looking at the breeze on the water, from what we can tell in that shot, I think that's going to be a gainer for them.
I haven't touched it once, Max.
If you have to jibe on the unfavored jibe, at least do it in a puff. And I think that's what the blue spinnaker in the back did. Leaders will be looking for the same opportunity.
Okay. You know the plan, Jack.
When do you jibe? Look at San Diego, set up on a lower angle behind Shelter Island, trying to reel them in.
Or maybe 70%.
Likely will be a simultaneous jibe if I'm on board San Diego.
Martin, you okay?
8's working really high. I'm not sure
G's probably equal.
Yeah, I think he's kind of honest here.
I'm gonna heat it up. I hate. Okay.
Ley line coming up for the leaders. Shelter Island continuing to lead San Diego, 1 and 2. On the final run of race number 1 of the medal round, up to 3 races are scheduled. We can't start one after 4 p.m. In this breeze, Andy, I think that's going to be fine. There's the simultaneous jibe. Shelter Island on port, and San Diego's jibe with a slightly hotter angle coming out. Trying to get a piece of their breeze, Andy. Can they do it? Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Bit of distance between them. I think they're in a great spot. They're going to try and get
Yeah,
on top
let's,
of their breeze.
yeah, let's listen to the audio.
Flatter boat. Okay, drop up, coming, 2. A little more time. 1, up on. Longer, 15 seconds is here.
Flatter maybe, Nick? With boat flatter? Yeah. For sure flatter for reaching. Flat boated for reaching, guys.
Shelter Island with a much hotter angle, trying to keep their air clear, and it is a gain for San Diego. Finish line a few minutes away. There's possibly, yeah, there we go. There is at least one more jibe in it. San Diego on the attack. Look at the higher angle that Shelter Island has, just trying to defend their breeze. They've come all the way up to their line. Had to spend a little bit of that lead, Andy, to keep clear air. Shelter Island still out in front.
Yeah, they've done the right thing, coming up, defending their lead, clearing their breeze.
So we've got somewhat of a match race going on for first and second of the top 14 boats here in the Resolute Cup. Conclusion of race number 1. Shelter Island leading to the finish.
Alan Bates has got a TV question. Great production. How many cameras and people involved in bringing the shots? Who's in the production booth mixing camera angles? That's Jason. How many people do you reckon we've got? 5 TV crew, a couple of commentators. Laura helping us out with research and social media.
We've got 3 onboard cameras, 1 drone, as well as a backup drone, and 1 on the water powerboat camera.
Yeah, so there's a powerboat camera, a drone, 3 onboards.
And 1 camera on us.
Yeah, so we keep it as thin as possible for the best coverage. It's not NASCAR here, but we're working on it.
Doing the best we can. So is San Diego. Look, they've reeled in Shelter Island. This is going to be a fight to the finish, Andy. That's the leeward gate, and there is the finish, the gym crack. Are they on ley line, or is there one more jibe?
There's one more jibe, I think, but it won't be much, and I think Shelter Island can hang on here. We're always looking to improve what you see, how the racing goes. There's even talk of maybe switching out these red and blue spinnaker for white ones with the yacht club flags, the burgees. That's what they're called, burgees. Which would be wonderful. I think that'd be cool.
Okay, last ditch effort. San Diego's jibed onto starboard, going for the pin end. It's one more jibe for them. Can they pull it off? Don't know.
Oof.
Here comes Shelter Island. They've jibed onto starboard. Pretty even finish line. Relatively square. San Diego's not going to do it. Race number 1 of the medal round here in the Resolute Cup goes to Shelter Island Yacht Club.
Well done, Shelter Island. Very good.
They had to fight for it in the end.
Yeah, I think they did a good job of just defending around the racecourse. In second, San Diego. And then we look like we've got Eastern, Coral Reef, Larchmont, Storm Trysail, St. Francis, Club Nautico de San Juan, Austin and New York both having bad races, then Bayview, San Francisco, and Chicago. Those are the results at the moment. Chicago having a bit of a shocker.
And there's Eastern Yacht Club, Bill Lynn and crew, former winners of the Resolute Cup, taking 3rd.
That's going to keep Bill Lynn very much in the hunt for the Eastern Yacht Club. Roy Thompson, hi to all of you from Spain. He sails with Team Slick. Gustavo Dical. It looks like he's checking in from Greece. Uruguay. Uruguay, thank you. I can't quite see the flag well enough, but yeah, that's a Uruguay. Good on you. Well done, Laura.
Okay, so race number 1 of the medal round is in the books. Congratulations, Shelter Island Yacht Club. 2 more double points races to come.
We're going to give you the results. We'll post the results in the comments of the Facebook as well, just to give you a direct link. You can click on the Google document, and it'll just be a few minutes, 5 or 10 minutes, and then we're going to go again for race number 2 of this gold medal round. Fun times, great conditions. Tucker, lovely day for sailing.
Thank you, Andy. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with race number 2 of the medal round of the Resolute Cup.